Do not buy a gaming chair. I've used hundreds of gaming chairs. I've sold thousands of them, and I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why I do not think that you should buy a gaming chair. And make sure to stick around to the end because the last one might shock you. The first reason you shouldn't buy a gaming chair is because the bucket seat racing style design just simply doesn't transition to most games that you're going to be playing or typical office work that you're going to be doing on the side if you're dual purposing the chair. The bolsters were created when we were using them for racing style games like Need for Speed. It was giving you a more immersive experience, kind of that simulator vibe. That's not the case anymore. Most people are using these chairs for console gaming or just mouse and keyboard type games, and the bolsters are just going to prohibit your movement. And truthfully, bolsters on gaming chairs are far more pronounced than even what you'll find in your normal car. They're hard, they're pronounced, they don't let you move around, they really limit your range of motion, which goes against kind of the new age way that we're looking at chairs and functionality and moving. So this is going to be one of the biggest reasons why I simply do not think you should buy a gaming chair, is because they are designed to look a certain way, but that takes away from the function and, most importantly, the comfort of the chair. If you'd like to see a list of the most comfortable chairs we've ever used, check out the link in the description. The next reason is that the headrests on gaming chairs simply aren't very well designed. Yes, every gaming chair is going to have a headrest because that's inherent to the high back design, and almost every gaming chair is going to have a cheap pillow that will either strap onto the top of the backrest or maybe a magnetic design that will be a little bit easier to hold in position. But whichever one you go with, it's not going to be as solid or as functional as a headrest that you'd get from like an ergonomic chair. You're not going to have any adjustability. It's going to go flat after 20 or 30 minutes and it's not going to support you at all. You can't use it in any type of upright position for tasking. So if you're really looking for a chair that you know you're going to be using the headrest, and that's one of the most important things that you want, then I would probably steer away from the gaming chairs just because, again, they're not super functional and not very comfortable after that first half hour in the chair. The next reason is that gaming chairs don't provide very good back support. And I know this is counterintuitive to why most people buy gaming chairs, which is you're going to be sitting in the chair for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You're experiencing back pain now. You want something to relieve that pain so that you can sit there for as much time as you can without having pain. The problem is that the gaming chair design is not conducive to resolving any of these problems. We already touched on the rigid design, the lack of movement because of the bucket seat, the steel frame. So you're not going to be able to stretch and move in the chair very easily. You're going to kind of be pushed into one seating position with your shoulders being pushed forward because of those side bolsters. Yes, some chairs have lumbar support built in. Those are only the high-end chairs. You're going to need to pay $500-$600 for those. Most are just going to have a cheap pillow with a completely flat backrest. The pillow is going to push you forward so that your top of your shoulders can't even touch the backrest, and the pillow is going to go flat in like 30 minutes. And then the flat back design ensures that you do not have proper support throughout your entire back. You'll see that on most ergonomic chairs, you're going to have a very pronounced S-curve to properly support the shape in your back. Gaming chairs simply do not have that. They are completely flat in the back, and that's why they just simply do not provide very good support. The next issue is that you're going to be paying a gaming chair tax with any gaming chair that you buy. And what I mean is that you're going to be paying for things that add zero functionality and zero comfort to your chair, just purely aesthetics, which is fine. If you're looking for a chair purely for the looks, then maybe the gaming chair is for you. But if you're looking for pure value out of your chair, then I would definitely lean more towards an ergonomic chair, because if you buy an equally priced ergonomic chair, you're going to get more functionality and more comfort out of the chair because you're not spending money on things like logos and fancy stitching in fancy colorways. And in extreme cases, we see chairs like the Cougar Terminator or Razor Isker, where they're going completely out of the box to try to make their chair so unique and so noticeable that you are paying for these gaudy additions with the base or the huge spine or massive headrests that don't do anything just to get them to be so eye-catching that people want to buy them. And then you get it and you realize that it's wildly uncomfortable. It's only going to fit 10% of the people in the world, and you probably should have just gone with an ergonomic chair for half the price that gives you more comfort and more functionality. And the final reason not to buy a gaming chair is that they are not ergonomic. And I know this might be shocking for a lot of people to hear because these things are heavily advertised as being ergonomic. This is the number one selling point of almost every gaming chair, whether it's a $100 gaming chair on Amazon or the most recognizable expensive gaming chair from Secret Lab. They all lean on this ergonomic. Sit in your chair for 10, 12 hours a day. They're ergonomic. You're still going to be comfortable at the end of the day. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. Gaming chairs cannot meet the threshold to be an ergonomic chair. Number one, they are not adjustable enough. They They do not have seat depth adjustment. This is inherent to the bucket seat design. You are not guaranteed to be able to get that chair 2 inches from the back of your legs. You're not guaranteed to be sitting at a 90-degree angle. You're not guaranteed to have your armrest at a 90-degree angle. Gaming chairs cannot guarantee any of these things to be required for an ergonomic chair. Next, they run very, very warm, arguably hot. In order for a chair to be ergonomic, it needs to be temperature regulated. You can't be overheating in the chair, sweating because of the design, and you will experience that in a gaming chair. They have thick padding, vinyl, thick fabric. They do not have breathability whatsoever. And the final reason is that they do not have any movement allowed in the chair. That steel frame, the bucket seat design, you are very, very constricted, which goes against everything that we're seeing in the ergonomic chair world. I do not think you should ever buy a bucket seat gaming chair, but one thing that I will say is there's been a huge movement recently to create ergonomic chairs that are skinned like gaming chairs. So if you like the look of these gaming chairs, but you're turned off by the fact that they're not ergonomic, not super comfortable, you might want to look into these new age chairs like the Razer Fujin Pro, the Mavix M9, the Fractal Refine. These are all chairs that have a foundation of an ergonomic chair, but then they're kind of skinned to look like a gaming chair. If you like that gaming chair vibe, I would highly recommend heading in one of these directions. If you don't like the gaming chair vibe whatsoever, and you just want to go with a straight ergonomic chair, we have an amazing list ranking all of our chairs by comfort. If you want to check that out, I put a link in the description.